Most people spend their entire lives working for money. They wake up early, go to work, trade hours for a paycheck, and repeat that cycle week after week. On the surface, it feels stable. You know what you'll earn, and you can plan your expenses around it. But there's a hidden problem in that system that most people never stop to question. Your income is directly tied to your time. That means if you stop working, your income stops too. It doesn't matter how many years you've been working or how experienced you are, your ability to earn is still dependent on showing up. This is where passive income starts to matter, but not in the way it's usually advertised. Passive income isn't about making money with zero effort. It's about building assets, things that can generate income for you consistently over time, even when you're not actively working. And that's the real shift. A job is not an asset, it's a transaction. You exchange time for money. An asset, on the other hand, produces value on its own. It works in the background. It creates income without requiring your constant attention. This could be investments, businesses, or systems that continue generating value long after you've built them. The mistake most people make is focusing only on earning more money instead of building assets. They chase promotions, overtime, or side hustles that still require their time. And while that can increase income temporarily, it doesn't create long-term freedom, because more income doesn't equal more freedom ownership does. The real question isn't, how can I make more money today? It's, what can I build today that will keep paying me in the future? Once you start thinking this way, your entire approach to money changes. You stop chasing short-term income and start building long-term systems. And that's where real financial independence begins. Before you can build passive income, you need to understand something that most people ignore. Passive income is rarely passive at the start. There is always an upfront investment. That investment comes in one of two forms, time or money. If you already have savings or capital, you can invest directly into assets like stocks, ETFs, or real estate. These types of assets are designed to generate returns over time, either through growth or income. But if you don't have much money yet, that doesn't mean you're stuck. It just means your starting point is different. Instead of investing money, you invest your time and effort. You can build something from scratch, whether that's content, a digital product, a service, or a skill that can later turn into an asset. The important thing to understand is that both paths require consistency. Nothing happens overnight. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting quick results. They try something for a few weeks or months, don't see immediate income, and assume it isn't working. But asset building doesn't follow that timeline. It's much closer to planting a tree. At the beginning, you're doing the work, watering it, maintaining it, taking care of it, but you don't see much progress. It can feel like nothing is happening. But below the surface, something important is developing: roots. And once those roots are strong enough, growth becomes visible. The same applies to passive income. In the early stages, your efforts may not produce immediate results. But if you stay consistent, those efforts begin to compound. Eventually, what felt slow starts to accelerate. The key is staying committed long enough to reach that point. Because most people don't fail due to lack of opportunity, they fail because they quit too early. To build passive income effectively, you need to understand the different types of assets available to you. Not all assets are the same, and each comes with its own advantages and challenges. The first category is financial assets. These include things like dividend-paying stocks, ETFs, bonds, and real estate investment trusts. These are designed to generate income through dividends or interest while also growing in value over time. The biggest advantage of financial assets is simplicity. Once you invest, the asset does the work. You don't need to manage it daily, and over time, it can grow while paying you. However, the downside is that you need capital to start, and it often takes time to build meaningful income. The second category is business assets. This includes things like online businesses, YouTube channels, blogs, or e-commerce stores. These require more effort upfront, but they offer much higher earning potential. Once established, they can generate income consistently, sometimes even without your direct involvement. But they require patience, learning, and consistency to build. The third category is intellectual assets. These are things you create once and sell repeatedly. Examples include online courses, ebooks, templates, or digital tools. The advantage here is scalability. One piece of work can generate income many times over. But again, they require effort up front. The key is not to try everything at once. Choose one path that fits your current situation. If you have capital, start with financial assets. If you have time, build something. And most importantly, stick with it long enough to see results. Once you understand the types of assets, the next step is creating a strategy that actually works. And here's the reality. Most people fail because they aim too big too quickly. They try to build one massive income stream overnight instead of focusing on small, consistent progress. The better approach is to build multiple small assets over time. Think of each asset as a building block. Individually, they may not seem significant, but together, they start to create real income. For example, an asset that generates $100 per month might not feel life-changing. But if you build 5 of those, you now have $500 per month. Build 10, and now it's $1,000. That's how passive income grows layer by layer. Another important factor is consistency. You don't need to do something extraordinary. You just need to do something consistently. Whether it's investing a small amount regularly or working on a project every day, the key is repetition. Small actions, repeated over time, lead to results. And once your assets start generating income, there's a powerful step you can take, reinvesting. Instead of spending that income immediately, you use it to build more assets. This creates a cycle. Your assets generate income, and that income builds more assets. Over time, this accelerates your growth. This is how compounding works in real life, not just in theory. And this is how small beginnings turn into significant outcomes. One of the biggest challenges in building passive income is patience. We live in a world where everything feels instant. You can order something and have it delivered the next day. You can access information instantly. So when something takes time, it feels like it's not working. This is where most people give up. In the early stages, building assets can feel slow and unrewarding. You're putting in effort, but the results don't match your expectations. It can feel like you're wasting time, but this phase is necessary. It's where the foundation is built. And without that foundation, long-term growth isn't possible. Over time, something begins to change. Your assets start producing. Income begins to show up. Growth becomes more visible. This is where momentum builds. And once momentum starts, things begin to accelerate. This is the power of compounding. Your results begin to build on themselves. But you only reach this stage if you stay consistent long enough. That's why discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is what keeps you going when progress feels slow. If you treat asset building like a long-term system instead of a short-term experiment, your chances of success increase significantly. At the end of the day, passive income isn't about avoiding work. It's about changing how your work creates value. Instead of working only for today's income, you're building something that will continue to generate income in the future. That's the real goal. Because when your income depends entirely on your time, your growth is limited. But when you build assets, your income becomes scalable. It grows beyond your direct effort. This gives you something most people never achieve: options. Options to work less. Options to choose how you spend your time. Options to reduce financial stress. And it all starts with a simple shift in thinking. Stop focusing only on earning. Start focusing on building. You don't need the perfect idea. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. That could be making your first investment, starting your first project, learning a skill that can turn into an asset. Over time, those small actions begin to add up. 1 asset turns into 2, 2 turn into 5, and eventually you build a system that works for you. A system that generates income even when you're not actively working. That's when things change. That's when your money starts working for you. And that's what turns passive income from an idea into reality.